Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Jev. Sunday now, so I'm gonna assume what? Fucking on the 10th, right? The 10th is supposed to be the war zone. Ooh, it's getting closer and closer. It's actually a possibility that we may even get like some sort of teaser. Highly doubt it'd be today on a Sunday. That UFC last night was fucking ridiculous. I watched every single fight all the way from like the early prelims all the way up to the top. And that card was very, very eventful all the way up until basically the main event. The people that I predicted to win, which by the way, I apologize for going super in depth and basically having a 10-minute video on fucking MMA, but
hey Jeff, you're shitty as fuck.
yeah, I'm way better than you, your dog. Hey, let me back in that lobby so I can shit on you some more, pussy. Can no one even land a nade right on me or something? I'm just gonna lay here, see how long it takes. Am I really gonna lay here the entire thing? They all left the game. Well, great. I just wanted to see how long. They know that I capped it all the way through. What happens if I just stay right here? That means that they know that I'm gonna have to move. They know this. So if I stay right here, I will constantly have somebody just... Of the 3 people on the other team, I have the attention of 1 of them. Okay, they're not looking anymore. You gotta be so patient. There he is. Okay. You gotta make them doubt that you're even there. That's how patient you can be. Now, I want to sit here and act like that was some cerebral shit. It wasn't. I sat there and waited. Fucking whoa. High-level shit right there using my big brain. Oh my god. Next one is in here, right? Or am I fucking dumb? Haha.
Okay.
Someone's behind me, bro. I can hear him. I knew it.
No.
I'm so sorry.
Jeff, please.
Dude, I'm sorry. Dude's trying to beat me on straight surprise factor with a sniper rifle. I know all the tactics, man. I know that you know that I know that you know. That's the fun part about playing against other snipers, though. But I do feel bad whenever I'm using a red gun against them because they're just so much better. Snipers on this game are at such a big disadvantage, to be honest. I got 20 kills this whole game. So the card last night was mainly, it was very, very good. All the way basically up until the main event where more people were like pissed off, like, man, the amount of shit, the amount of dog shit, garbage tweets I have seen on the timeline. It's so disgusting, man. Even the people that I know and I follow that like try to be funny on Twitter all day. So basically, Wei Li versus Joanna. Who won? Who won all the fights and all this other shit? Yesterday I predicted Wei Li wins and Adesanya wins. They both won. I'm really happy for that because I was nervous. I was so nervous for Israel. You have no idea. Something in my room smells like a warm balloon. Wei Li versus Joanna. It's one of the best fights ever in the UFC. It was ridiculous, that fight. Insane. I don't know how many total punches were thrown, but it was hundreds of punches and strikes and kicks. And you probably saw all the memes all over the place, which probably helped catapult this thing and hype the main event up even more with how good that co-main was. But basically, Wei Li ended up pulling it out just through being, I guess, more of the aggressor slash in control of the octagon slash damage overall. I mean, just the way that Joanna's head and face and everything just looked after that fight. She had this giant hematoma on her forehead. And it's not just like, usually a hematoma is just like a massive pimple, or at least it looks like it. But this actually like expanded over her entire forehead, bro. I mean her entire forehead. It started over here after she got hit, and then it just expanded over her entire forehead, and everybody started making memes. Megamind, Real Life 5 Head, all sorts of shit. Hills have eyes, like, it's pretty fucked. So, yeah, I mean, in a sense, it is kind of hard to argue that a person that looks like that won the fight, but visible damage isn't necessarily indicative of how much damage you've actually taken or how many times you've actually been hit or whether or not you're actually winning a fight. So like in schoolyard fight, if somebody's fighting somebody else and one of the people ends up nearly KOing the other person, rocking them, but one of the people has a bloody nose, I guarantee you most kids think that just because somebody's bleeding, they've been hurt. Bleeding doesn't hurt, guys. You do realize that, right? So these ladies gave them a fucking war. Hundreds and hundreds of strikes. I think more strikes were landed by Joanna, but the overall visible damage and octagon control, aggression, things like that, I'm assuming that's what gave Wei Li the nod. I mean, it was a very, very close fight. I had no idea how to fuck to score those rounds. It was very, very difficult for me, but hopefully they just run that shit back, to be honest. So we go from this absolute war where neither of them gave a single shit. I'm not gonna say there was no defense, but they were ready to just, they didn't give a fuck. They were swinging and shit was landing. Now, although it was a good fight, I mean, obviously, I'd rather not see people get near fucking brain damage and shit, but it is what it is. That's the sport, but but fuck. So you go from that absolute war between the two of them, you know, you can debate who you think won or not. I mean, I'm happy that Whaley won. I would have been fine with even a fucking draw for it going the other way. I don't really care. That was just, the fight was crazy. And anybody that's hearing about it that wasn't tuned into the fight were like, holy shit, like one of the greatest fights just fucking happened, right? So people are tuning in, people are ready, people are watching, and then they get to the main event here. Yoel Romero versus Israel Adesanya. Israel being a big, long, lengthy fighter, not necessarily known for his knockout power, but he can absolutely knock you the fuck out. He can piece you up. Versus Yoel Romero. The guy is incredibly explosive and shit, and that guy is the challenger, okay? And it was a very, very weird fight. I think a total of 7 strikes were thrown in the first round. 4 for Yoel, 3 for Israel, and that was it. It was really weird. Yoel walked out like a fucking statue with both of his hands up and just stood right in the middle like this. Well, if I were Yoel Romero, my shoulders were fucking huge and I was built like a fucking cannon. Yeah, he walked out and just stood there like that, and nobody ever really does that. Like, I've never seen him do that kind of shit before. It was very, very weird. He had this game plan basically where, hey, I'm fighting a counter puncher, so if I make him come forward at me, I can counter punch him. His game plan was, I'm gonna sit here, wait for him to open up on me, and I'm gonna counter with a giant explosive overhand right or left. Which, I mean, is a good strategy, but it resulted in the fight basically not going anywhere. Israel didn't take the bait, kind of picked him apart from the outside, and picked him apart, it's kind of whatever, but if you take a look at that motherfucker's leg, anybody that wants to sit there and say that Israel ran that entire fight, go ahead and stand there and do exactly what Yoel did. I guarantee you, number 1, you'd be knocked the fuck out. Number 2, your leg, you're not feeling it this morning. It's fucking, it's done. But Yoel at the press conference hopped up and started dancing and stuff to show that his leg is fine. It ain't fine. His leg by itself looked like it was deployed into some sort of nuclear war. His leg was beyond fucked. It was a completely different color. Welts everywhere, swelling everywhere. It looked horrible. And obviously people are like, oh, he just kicked him in the leg. What the fuck? Blah, blah, blah. But people are just really casual. They don't, I hate saying it like that because it sounds like I'm really gatekeeping, but it's so disrespectful to go and say that people are running. That shit is just so disrespectful to me. They really expect these professional athletes that have their entire livelihoods and families on the fucking line, already putting themselves at risk, and you guys want them to just stand and bang with absolute murderers. Some people do that. I mean, you can go and watch any of Israel's previous fights. The dude fights, but he's not gonna sit there and fall into this simple trap that Yoel set for him. It is what it is. Oh my god. People are just starting to run this conversion kit on the regular setups for an AK. I mean, look at the damage! Easily the best fucking gun in pubs right now. It's so fucked. Put this conversion kit on and then just have fucking at it. Dude, build it whatever way you want. Just put the conversion kit on and then build whatever you want. I'm just saying, you guys know what the fuck happens when you run into Requise, right? When you want to sit there and play the same game that Requise wants to play, Yoel lulls you to sleep and then just explodes and puts you the fuck out in one punch. Also, he did try to use his wrestling a little bit, and Israel dealt with it just fine. So, hey, I'm just saying, Izzy's takedown defense and his ground scrambles and things like that, he seems to be very, very good at that. He really is. I'm just saying you wouldn't stand and bang with Requise just because he wants you to. You would sit from the outside, pick him apart, and frustrate him. It's not like Israel wouldn't try to KO him, but the dude left no openings. He stood there as a rock with a fucking cannon, and that's the only way you can fight that shit. It's like trying to punch a fucking blade. Going to get hurt if you just play this game. So Israel fought the fight that he could, that Yoel presented to him. If Yoel actually pushed forward, there would be more openings for Israel. But it's on Yoel as the challenger to try to put him away instead of just standing there. I don't know, that's all going into my opinion about the whole thing. Obviously, I'm an Israel fan. I could sound biased or whatever, but I mean, if you put yourself in there, anybody would do a similar thing. Unless you want to get slept, I don't fucking care. Say it all you want, but end of the day, none of these people are fucking fighting, so. Oh my god, man. Forget about it if you land headshots too. It's fucking over. This thing is so strong. I feel like I'm shooting people at like 75 HP. Like, I'd say the only downside really is that the M4 does shoot faster, and I think it does aim a little bit better. It handles a little bit better. It's not as heavy. Okay. It's level 2. Are we really making new accounts, guys? I should try to make a new account and see how it goes. Honestly, I really should. It could be the return of Power Duck. Man, check out this AK. I mean, God, it may be ugly, but sheesh. You could do really anything that you want with this thing. I don't even know. You could build it like this. You could build it like an SMG. You could take this off, put on a I don't even know. This thing's broken. I'm sure people are finding out faster and faster and everything, but yeah, it's fucking busted. At least something's competing with the M4 now, I guess.